President Trump's pick to lead the CIA, Gina Haspel, was on Capitol Hill Tuesday. This comes the day before her confirmation hearing and days after reports she had offered to withdraw her candidacy. Haspel spent the day courting senators. CBS News intelligence reporter and producer Olivia Gazis is in Washington. So, Olivia, this is expected to come down to a narrow margin. What are the main concerns lawmakers have at this point?
Elaine, I spent the entire day chasing senators up on Capitol Hill to get their views of where Haspel stands in their minds. She spent the last 2 days courting primarily Democratic senators to persuade them of her commitment to the role and of any other concerns they wanted to raise. And it's true, this could come down to a very close vote. There are 3 things that they're primarily concerned about probing with Haspel. One is her knowledge of, involvement in, and support for the enhancement interrogation techniques program that the CIA implemented in the aftermath of 9/11. The second will be her support for the destruction of 92 videotapes documenting those interrogations years after they concluded. And the third will be why she and the CIA haven't been more transparent with this committee, the Democratic senators argue, about her highly classified background. Senators really want to have an open forum to discuss a lot of what she was involved in the past, and they feel that the CIA and Haspel haven't been forthcoming enough in declassifying her background in order to be able to do that.
Well, is there anything else, Olivia, that could potentially sway the vote one way or another?
We could always have the president give a call to Rand Paul, who's voiced his opposition, but it's not clear at all that that will happen. It will come down to Haspel's performance, I think. She will have to be very candid about what she was involved in. She'll have to address straight on a lot of the Democrats' concerns for the interrogation program, the tape destruction, and decisions she made thereafter. But she's constrained, of course, because this is classified information. The public does not have access to it. And it's arguably not in her interest to divulge some damaging information that senators may, in fact, want to reveal.
Well, how is Haspel viewed more broadly within the intelligence community?
She's got widespread support within the intelligence community. Former directors appointed by Republican and Democrat presidents have come out in support of her. She's viewed as somebody who really got in the muck with the ranks, took on the most difficult assignments, the most dangerous assignments, and completed them all. She is known to have the support of the ranks, having spent 30 years at the CIA, largely in a clandestine capacity, and she's the first of her kind in a long time to have risen to this height within the agency. Previous directors have spent time in politics or within an administration, and she really is a long-term career officer who has, through grit and hard work, her supporters argue, really risen to the top.
Well, at the outset, Olivia, you mentioned concerns over enhanced interrogation techniques. What types of questions will Gina Haspel face at her hearing?
Well, she'll definitely be probed on that front, Elaine. She was known to have overseen a black site, a secret post that the CIA put into place in the aftermath of 9/11. She was in Thailand. We know not from the CIA, but from public reporting that she was present for the interrogation of at least one detainee. We don't know the extent of her involvement in that interrogation. We don't know if she was physically in the room, if she was watching from behind a window, if she said stop or otherwise tried to prevent or stem what was going on. We simply don't know. All we know is that she was at a black site at a time that a detainee was subjected to enhanced interrogation techniques, including waterboarding, and she'll have to answer for that. She'll then have to answer for the cable that she wrote at her then boss's instruction to destroy the 92 videotapes that were made to document some of these interrogations. The CIA did release a memo that was drafted by then Deputy Director Michael Morrell, who's a CBS News contributor, clearing her of wrongdoing in that matter. But senators will still want to know, did she think it was the right thing to do? Does she regret it being sent? Does she buy the explanation of Rodriguez that he was simply trying to protect officials and officers from the agency who were clearly visible on those tapes? So we can expect plenty of questions from senators on those 2 fronts.
Yeah, Michael Morrell has been very, very vocal about the fact that in that regard with respect to that cable, Haspel was simply carrying out what she was directed to do. Well, if Gina Haspel were to be confirmed, what kinds of challenges would she face?
There are no shortage of challenges that she will face. Thankfully, as former Director Pompeo's deputy, she's read in on all of them. But as you see, the administration and the world can throw a lot of curveballs in a given day. She'll have to deal immediately with the implications of withdrawing from the Iran nuclear deal. She's going to have to deal with the implications that has for negotiating with a nuclear North Korea. She's going to have to deal with a persistently meddlesome Russia, which her supporters again argue that she has plenty of experience doing. She's going to have to deal with an ascendant China. She has any number of intelligence and national security problems to deal with immediately if confirmed when she's hitting the ground running.
No shortage of geopolitical issues. Olivia Gazis in Washington. Olivia, thanks very much.
Thank you, Elaine.
And just a reminder, CBSN will have live coverage of Gina Haspel's confirmation hearing. That's expected to take place Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern.